This is not an essay. This is not a high school track and field meet. This is not, you know, a Discord debate where there are no winners and losers. This is not whose line is it anyway, where nobody wins and the points don't matter. I mean, here, we'll look at the clip before we dive into it, because this is why. This is why the democracy is on the ballot thing is horse.
And if you stay in and Trump is elected and everything you're warning about comes to pass, how will you feel in January?
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do. That's what this is about. Look, George, think of it this way. You've heard me say this before. I think the United States and the world is at an inflection point where the things that happen in the next several years are going to determine what the next 6, 7 decades look like. Who has that reach? Who knows all these? We're going to have, I guess, a good way to judge me is you're going to have now the NATO conference here in the United States next week. Come listen.
This is straight up delusional. Joe's American exceptionalist attitudes, he is genuinely one of the few people, I think, within American politics who actually believes the propaganda, who he believes our lies about our allyship with Israel, that we do it because it's the only democracy in the Middle East. He believes that. He believes that America is a shining beacon on a hill. He believes that America is the throne of democracy and we are the world police. He believes all that wholeheartedly.
From ABC News, a special edition of This Week. President Joe Biden, his first television interview since the debate.
Nancy Pelosi actually framed the question that I think is on the minds of millions of Americans. Was this a bad episode or the sign of a more serious condition?
It was a bad episode. No indication of any serious condition. I was exhausted.
Something I noticed in the interview was that they had to crank the gain up on his mic because he's so quiet. He just whispers. Yeah, which, again, they cranked up his audio to make it seem like he's not as, Jack, I gotta cut the malarkey, okay?
In Camp David, why wasn't that enough rest time, enough recovery time?
Because I was sick. I was feeling terrible. Matter of fact, the docs with me, I asked if they did a COVID test because they were trying to figure out what was wrong. They did a test to see whether or not I had some infection.
11 days, dude. 11 days. You were the president. They could have hopped you up on every drug on this planet. You cannot tell me it was because you're sick. Like, they could have shot you up with so much B12, adrenochrome, adrenaline, coke. Bingo!
Watch the debate afterwards?
I don't think I did, no.
Well, what I want to get at is, what were you experiencing as you were going through the debate? Did you know how badly it was going?
Yeah, look. Nobody's fault but mine. I prepared what I usually would do, sitting down, as I did come back with foreign leaders or the National Security Council, for explicit detail. And I realized about partway through that, you know, I get quoted, the New York Times had me down at 10 points before the debate, 9 now, or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, listen, I might be down by like 6, 8, 10 points, you know? The New York Times editorial board might be like asking me to resign as the most libbed up State Department, like loving people within media. But did you notice how much he lied? It's like that Ari Emanuel speaking engagement thing he did, where he was like, we can all, before we talk about this, recognize Donald Trump is bad, right? Like, we could recognize Donald Trump's bad. He's worse than Joe Biden. We know that. We're all on the same page, right? So I don't have to qualify every sentence I make here. We know. We know Trump lies. We know he's a piece of shit. That's not the question, man.
But, you know, George, I'm optimistic about this country. I don't think we're a country of losers, he points out. I don't think America's in tough shape. I think America's on the cusp of breaking through in so many incredible opportunities. This next term, I'm going to make sure we got to straighten out the tax system. I'm going to make sure we're in a situation where we have health care for all people.
You've been the president for 4 years. Bingo! Like straightening out the tax system, getting people health care, getting people child care, that's like year one, first 18 months shit. When you still had a majority. You've been the president for 4 years. That's a question that George should have asked immediately. Okay, you've been president for 4 years. Why are you talking about all this good shit you're gonna do when you've been president? Like you're at the tail end of your presidency. That's first 100 days shit using the bully pulpit and COVID crisis and the new election results. Right, like going into the presidency, using COVID as a catalyst to get expanded access to like Medicare and Social Security and disability and, you know, lowering the threshold for getting insured, lowering insurance costs, or hell, just telling the Supreme Court to go fuck itself and doing Medicare for all. Student loan debt. He had all these opportunities, yet we're like, hey, I'm about to do all this shit. No, you're not. You had ample opportunity. He looks so orange. What's with that? They tanned him up so he doesn't look so dead.
Yeah, and all these things. One thing I'm proudest of is, remember when my economic plan was put forward, a lot of the mainstream economists said it's not going to work. Well, guess what? You now have 16 Nobel laureates, 16 of them in economics, saying that Biden's next term would be, based on what he wants to do, enormous success. Trump's plan would cause a recession, would significantly increase inflation. I've made great progress, and that's what I plan on doing, and we can do this.
I understand that.
Right, but again, your statement is based on a critical word you used. If.
A slightly different question. Have you had the specific cognitive tests, and have you had a neurologist, a specialist, do an examination?
No, no one said I had to. No one said, they said I'm good.
Would you be willing to undergo an independent medical evaluation that included neurological and cognitive tests and release the results to the American people?
Look, I have a cognitive test every single day. Every day I have that.
No. No. He's not about to say this. No, he's not about to say my cognitive and physical test is being president. No, he's not saying the job is a test.
You know, not only am I campaigning, but I'm running the world. And that's not how it sounds like hyperbole. But we are the essential nation in the world. I don't know if it was right. And every single day, for example, today, before I come out here, I'm on the phone with the Prime Minister of, anyway, I shouldn't get into detail. With Netanyahu. I'm on the phone with the new Prime Minister of England. I'm working on what we're doing with regard to, in Europe, with regard to expansion of NATO and whether it's going to stick. I'm taking on Putin. I mean, every day, there's no day I go through that are not those decisions I have to make every single day.
And you have
flashback to a week ago when a lib friend of mine tried to tell me he's super progressive and America's only hope, Lamau, the insane gaslighting. It's not just like that, it's gaslighting, because gaslighting is trying to make you doubt what you already believe, right? It's trying to make you doubt what you clearly know. This is just lying. It's not gaslighting, okay? This is just looking the American people in the eye and going, nope.
I don't think so, but I think when you look at all of the polling data right now, it shows that he's certainly ahead in the popular vote, probably even more ahead in the battleground states. And one of the other key factors there is it shows that in many of the battleground states, the Democrats who are running for Senate and the House are doing better than you are.
Well, that's not unusual in some states. I carried an awful lot of Democrats last time I ran in 2020. Look, I remember them telling me the same thing in 2020. I can't win. The polls show I can't win. Remember 2020, the red wave was coming. Before the vote, I said, that's not going to happen. We're going to win. We did better in an off year than almost any incumbent president ever has done. They said in 2023, all the tough races, we're not going to win. I went into all those areas and all those districts, and we won.
All that is true, but 2020 was a close race. And your approval rating has dropped significantly since then. I think the last poll I saw was about 36%. The number of Americans who think you're too old to serve has doubled since 2020. Wouldn't a clear-eyed political calculus tell you that it's going to be much tougher to win in 2024?
Not when you're running against a pathological liar.
Brother,
not when he had
you have
been
lied this entire interview. What do you mean? Not only have you been wrong, just straight up wrong, but you are lying to the American people. Brother, no way to run a country. That's so devastating.